Doom Eternal is the follow-up to 2016's very, very good Doom. Doom is a simple game. The aim is to shoot and punch demons. It just happens to be incredibly well packaged and executed. My name is Mike Williams, and this is the one true Doom Slayer himself, Liam McKelvey.
Well, I don't know if I'm that good, but I'll take it anyway.
Well, stay humble and all that, I suppose. Liam, can you explain Doom to someone who hasn't played it before?
So Doom is a first-person shooter made by id Software, published by Bethesda, and it's a reboot of the classic Doom that everybody loves.
That's it.
Doom from 1993, I think it was from.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And there's a lot of shooting and punching and noise,
There is. There's a lot of heavy metal guitar riffs,
yeah,
a lot of shotgun blasts, a lot of demon blood just all over the place.
That's it. It's loud in many ways.
Oh, yes.
So Doom 2016 was a very successful reboot of the historic franchise, which dates back to 1993 with the original Doom. The reboot, it was a cracking game. It got some great reviews, sitting at the mid to high 80s on Metacritic on its various platforms. The reboot specifically now, that game had more than a few strengths, right? It was like very fast, very tight and punchy, awesome soundtrack. Also had that kind of amazing no-nonsense thing going on. Kind of reminded me of the 2012 movie Dread, which was like the same kind of just shooting, loud noises, and
sort of
no
old
nonsense.
School action vibe to it.
Yeah, exactly. And they really captured that, and the way they present these games and stuff, they really lean into it. I mean, what would you reckon were the kind of biggest strengths of that 2016 reboot? What did you like most about it?
So it was how everything just gelled together. The animation, the graphics, the gameplay, the sound design, it all meshed together to make this like one really satisfying, immensely satisfying, I'd say, first-person shooter experience.
You're dead right, Eric. It's very slick, and you're right, satisfying is the right word, because it is very, I don't know, punchy, and just there's a lot of meat to it. So Doom Eternal is the follow-up now. It was announced with a brief teaser trailer at E3 in June. It's coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch, but there's still no release date. They wouldn't even be drawn on a release year, because id Software did an interview with Eurogamer recently in which they simply said, we're not getting into the release date yet, but we're doing well. The game is really coming along. So they're just not going to say when it's coming out yet. So we've finally had a good look at the gameplay and plenty of details thanks to a chunky presentation at QuakeCon. If you want to watch the full presentation, we'll check a link in the description. What was the biggest thing that stood out to you from that presentation that you saw from Doom Eternal, which is the follow-up? What was the biggest thing that you saw?
For me, it was mostly just, it seemed to be like a refinement on the 2016 reboot than anything, because like the improvements, they don't look huge.
No.
They look quite subtle, but they're
about as subtle as a game about ripping demons in half.
Yeah. It's mainly stuff like they've added in like a little air dash.
Yes.
The grappling hook. It seems to be, they seem to have like upped the ante when it comes to movement compared to the last one, which was it's very fast, but this one has like a lot more verticality to it than the first one did. I'm
with you there. Yeah, verticality is the right thing. The main headline thing that I guess they showed you first of all when the gameplay actually started in this presentation was this shotgun hook thing, which is kind of like the Scorpion from Mortal Kombat move, like chucking a hook at your enemies. But this time it launches you towards them, and you can get some air, you can go over them, you don't go straight towards them. You can use it
to traverse around the level or, just hook yourself into an enemy and blast them.
That's it. I'm with you there. Overall thoughts are that it is an evolution, it's not a completely different experience. It's just the same but more, and everything that you liked. It looks like the kind of game for exactly the people who liked the first one, as in all they're interested in is pleasing their audience that they've already got. It doesn't look like they're trying to appeal to any broader base as far as I'm concerned. It just looks like more of what you love, which is cool. So let's kind of try and get through it in some kind of order then. So first of all, we got a good look at the Doom Slayer himself. They said he's the strongest and most powerful hero that id Software has ever created, and that's one of their main marketing lines for this. We saw some concept art which looked very cool. He's definitely had a bit of an upgrade since the last one. He's got a lot more armor. He seems to have gone to the gym as well, because he looks flipping huge, and he's got like this huge blade thing on his arm.
Yeah, for the close-up execution kills, which make a return in even gorier fashion.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't know that was possible, but they somehow managed it.
Yeah, I mean, he chops some demons in half with that blade thing, and he's also got a shoulder-mounted launcher this time around, which can spew out flames, grenades, and you can do that while you're switching weapons and reloading.
Yeah, it looked like a sort of cooldown ability type thing.
That's it.
I don't know if it is cooldown or ammo-based. I'm not sure on that myself, but it looks cool.
I think based on how often it was being used in the gameplay, it looked like it wasn't constantly being used.
Yeah.
It was just being brought up, every so often. So I think you're right. It looks like some kind of cooldown, or that's how they've balanced it. Just like this other thing that you can use. You've got your guns, you've got your fists, you've got this blade thing, and now you've got a shoulder-mounted cannon. So I think overall the kind of, like you said, the movement, the dash, you've got the dash ability to dodge quickly, you can double jump with your thrust boost, you can climb up the environment in certain spots, so that there's like wall climbing stuff, that looks like it's got some kind of texture on the wall, which is a new feature. And just overall more mobility is what I'm saying.
Yeah, pretty much.
Good look at the weapons as well. There's a shotgun which looks bigger and badder, like we've already discussed.
It looks like you can customize it quite a lot, that shotgun as well.
It looked,
because it looked like he was like swapping parts out of it, and there was one, it was like the Gatling shotgun, which looked pretty badass, and then there was like one, it looked like it was shooting really powerful rocket type rounds out of it.
To come out of the presentation for a second, this is one thing that has emerged in the interviews, that the mods is a big focus, and in Doom 2016 you had like alternate firing.
You had like
options.
2 modes for each weapon, right?
That's it, yeah. But it looks like that is how they're trying to add variety this time around. You've got your shotgun, but it actually behaves differently. And there's 8 weapons, because we saw the weapon wheel, so we know how many weapons there are. But they said that each one of those will behave differently depending on how you use it and what kind of mod you've got equipped and whatever. Some of the other weapons that look quite cool, the ballista, which got a bit of a spotlight. It's kind of like just a big
laser
sci-fi
crossbow type thing. That looked cool, like a railgun almost.
Yeah, big, heavy, almost endgame looking weapon. But I don't know, all these weapons are massive, so you don't know when exactly in the game
you can't really tell.
No. Heavy cannon as well, which was kind of like like a Gatling gun looking type, machine gun type thing, but it also had a sniping option. So you could, if you did want to for some reason slow down and snipe, you could kind of do that. They've updated a lot of the classic enemies as well, so you've got the Arachnotron from Doom 2, I think, and
what a name.
Which is just kind of a brain on a robotic spider.
I remember them from Doom 2, I think.
It is Doom 2, I think, and the Pain Elemental, which is another great name.
They've redesigned enemies, I've noticed, from the original Doom 2, which is, I think that also took place on like the Earth type environment.
That's it, yeah.
And I've known like the weird zombie sergeant things. They've looked like they've had a big redesign, stuff like that.
So you mentioned the Earth environment there. Just before we get into that, they also mentioned destructible demons, right? So this is a phrase that they said. So this kind of sounds almost like a Battlefield DICE kind of destruction system.
Yeah, it's like a buzzword.
But for the demons. And like you literally blast chunks out of the demons, and they even had concept art for this to show how after, taking some gunfire, the demons would degrade and have holes in them.
Dead Spacey, that procedural taking enemies apart or whatever.
Definitely, and that's how you can, I guess, you get a good visual representation of them getting weaker as you're pouring ammunition into these monsters.
It's a good way to do it, so enemies, they can still appear powerful but not spongy.
Yeah, and they don't need a big health bar on top of their heads, because you know roughly how much damage they've been taking. So yes, let's move on to the environments, like you said then. So they do look familiarly kind of Doom-esque. Doom 2016 was set on Mars and in Hell. 2 great locations for a shooting game, and this kind of looks like familiar to begin with. They kind of do a bit of a bait and switch, I reckon, because they do a bit of a here's the Doom that you know and love, and then some way into the presentation they go, but actually there's going to be some other locations as well. We're taking you to places that you've never been before in a Doom game. That's one thing that they say, and it takes you, the gameplay that they're showing at the time when they say that is kind of this clean looking but still grim fantasy kind of city almost. And they didn't really say what that was. And interestingly, Eurogamer asked them if that bit was supposed to be heaven, and they just kind of smiled it off and said, well, you're going to have to wait and see. So they're not going to say what it is, but it just looks like this weirdly pristine fantasy looking city, but it's still grim, and it's not a nice place, I'd say. The action also goes to Phobos, where there seems to be like a huge battle raging on, like a big sci-fi battle going on. And I love the way they introduced that with the human NPCs kind of cowering at the sight of the Doomslayer.
The ultimate badass is what they're going for, really, isn't it?
It's pure like power fantasy stuff, almost. But you're supposed to be like a
feared.
Yeah, it's like ultimate, that kind of thing with Batman and all these kind of those dark heroes that are like, they're supposed to be, they're killing all the bad guys, but the good guys are scared of them as well. They're trying to, so they're really, really going for that. And it is cool. It definitely works.
They kind of did it in the first one, where it was like, instead of like pushing the button on the keyboard or whatever, you just like smash it.
Yeah,
and stuff
exactly.
like that. And it looks like they've just leaned into it really heavily this time.
Yeah, it definitely works for what this is. It's a very aggressive game. Like the gameplay is aggressive, the music, and that's what it is. And it's just that pure. He doesn't care about anything except killing demons.
That's it, yeah.
And that's so he's very useful for those kind of humans in the earth people, but he's not like their friend or their ally.
Yeah.
He's just
there's that part where he goes to open the door and drags the scientist by his key collar, whatever, and just like scans him on the wall.
Yeah, and then he just takes the gun off the guy.
The soldier,
So they're having a laugh with it, obviously, just like they did in the first one. Like you said, punching keyboards.
They don't take themselves too seriously with it.
Definitely
which
not.
I don't think you can with Doom. Just lean into the power fantasy.
Absolutely, it's very metal kind of aesthetic and stuff, isn't it? So that totally works. I'm completely on board for all that. Now, the last big thing that we need to mention is the Dark Souls style invasions, right? So this is players can invade your game and play as demons. They can even group up and hunt you in packs.
Yeah.
Now, this was the only point in the presentation where I could sense some doubt in the air. I mean, people were cheering and stuff, but it was like, I don't know if it was the hosts that were a bit like anxious about making the announcement, but whatever it was, it just felt like there was a little bit of uncertainty in the air when they announced this.
I suppose, because Doom, the 2016 reboot, really prided itself on being old school FPS. Yes. And so adding in like Dark Souls, the invasion mechanics, I can see why it might not sit well with some people who just want a purely single player, story-driven FPS.
Yeah, I'm not going to be going for that, I'll be honest. When I play this game, I'm going to set all them options off. It's not for me.
I might give it a try just to say I've tried it out. But it's not something I'm particularly looking forward to.
Yeah, but all the same, they said that's purely optional. You can choose if you want to invade, if you want to be invaded, or play completely solo as normal. So, like I said, I know what I'm going to go for, but the option is there now. And some people were definitely excited about this. It is a cool idea, I guess, of playing as a demon. I do like the idea of, because a lot of the demons have got so much design in them. They've got so much weapon variety and potential that it'd be cool to use them.
They had it to a limited degree in the last one, in the multiplayer, where you had those special pickups which could turn you into like the cyber demon night demon, whatever it's called. So they're just kind of exploring that and really putting you in the range of a demon character, which is cool. And the gameplay reveal ends on like this lightsaber looking blade thing. It's a big energy sword.
It is big.
It's very big.
It's like a great sword kind of thing, and it just looks ace, man. It's a great way to end the trailer, and they don't show what happens. You just kind of fire it up,
like
and then
smashes to black as he ignites it or whatever.
That's it. That's exactly it. So that was the whole gameplay reveal. There's plenty to see there. It definitely got me excited as a Doom enthusiast. I guess.
It looked exactly like what I'd want from a Doom sequel. Which is just Doom, but a bit more polished and refined.
Same here. I mean, it is a Doom. It is more Doom, which is exactly what I wanted. And in the same note, I don't think it's going to win anyone over. Like Jake, for example, in the office, didn't really have any reaction to it. Because he wasn't a fan of the Doom 2016. I think that's going to be true for a lot of people. Like they'll, however they feel about this, will be entirely dependent on whether or not they like Doom 2016.
For sure.
I think one other note we should mention as well is performance. They confirmed it's going to be running at 60 FPS on everything except 30 on the Switch. And as far as the Switch port goes, they've told Eurogamer in an interview after this presentation that they want it to come out at the same time, because there's no release date at all. So they don't have to commit to anything, I guess, but they would like for it to come out at the same time as everything else. So simultaneous launch for the Switch is what they're aiming for, but who knows at this point. It's
being made by the same people as well who did Doom and Wolfenstein 2 for the Switch as well. So it should be pretty good for a port.
Overall, what are you most looking forward to here? What are you most looking forward to getting your hands on this game for?
For me, it will be the campaign, because that is arguably the best part of the last Doom, and I don't see why it wouldn't be the best part of this one. I know they're dropping Snap Map or whatever, you know, like arcadey,
the level
design tool. They're dropping that because not enough people really made use of it. I don't know about multiplayer. I'm not sure if they said anything about that.
Not really, no. Just apart from like we've covered the Dark Souls kind of element, which is, you know, kind of synced up with the single player story. They have spoken in interviews a little bit about multiplayer, but it's nothing, you know, it's nothing that they've kind of really been prepared to talk about in any detail, just the vague ideas of what they want it to be. And they said they keep talking about this Doom dance, which is the gameplay of just kind of, you know, sliding around, like jumping in the air, shooting, and it all seems like kind of controlled chaos. They're really trying to capture that in the multiplayer aspect as well. So not in the invasion now, in the actual deathmatch multiplayer type stuff. So they're really trying to capture that gameplay loop in multiplayer as well. I'm totally with you though. Single player all the way for me. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
I'm just hoping for a longer campaign, because the 2016 reboot was quite short. It was like 5 hours long, something like that.
It could have been a bit longer,
Yeah, so all I really hope for in Doom Eternal is longer campaign, more of the same gameplay, and more of the amazing soundtrack.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, yeah, exactly. The gameplay looked familiar, but evolved. It looked like there was more things to use, more weapons to use, more enemy varieties, more environmental places to explore. They said what I'm excited about is the environmental storytelling. They've really tried to ramp up and try and you're blasting through some of these places, but there are periods where you're just kind of having a walk, and there are storytelling moments in there, which I'm really excited about. I want to learn more about this stuff and be in that kind of universe a bit better. The human NPC bit was just really cool. I like that. I hope there's more of that kind of, you know, you know, the good and bad just cowering in fear.
There was that one bit where like the AI announcer was like Doomslayer at maximum capacity or whatever.
yeah, the announcer was cool, like that kind of voiceover thing.
It's like be nice to demons and stuff like that.
That's it. That was all that sort of stuff is really cool. I love that they're staying true to what it is. They're staying true to the heart pounding kind of super fast controlled chaos thing, and like you said, underscored by that soundtrack, which is what made the 2016 game so great. So they would be crazy not to try and do that again, right? So that's Doom Eternal, the follow-up to Doom 2016 from id Software. It's coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch, but there's still no release date. Let us know what you think about what you've seen in this game so far down in the comments below. Are you ready for more Doom? Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. There should be another video on your screens right now if you want to watch that, and a link to Patreon if you want to support the channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.